the world know the truth. Expose the lies, study the bloodlines, the Africanized treaties. Let the world know the truth. Expose the lies, study the bloodlines, the Africanized drive before the Spanish, the Dutch, and the British arrived. Saying we was from Africa, stolen birthright. That's trick move, something that a dirty war would do. Claim the nationality of the land, you get screwed. So we studied your background, the treaties you wrote. Fake as history, we ain't no appeal, no boat. Frontin' like you indigenous to the land, you disgust me. The tomahawks back in our hands, his head ugly. You run around screaming black power, cut cells to the truth. Rivers fell with a bull and high hills. Native Americans butt hurt, can't deal, cause they know damn well the trail of tears ain't real. Respect the Aboriginal, this land is ours, you know you all. You still a guest, motherfucker. I have one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas for society. Keep killing them, telling it. I have one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas for society. Keep killing them, telling it. House nigga, real nigga, fake nigga, feel nigga. My skin ain't black, what the deal, nigga? Salute Momaros, but it's Aborigines, owners of the land and every goddamn tree and every goddamn sea. Invaders ever cross to step foot on the land and you can step the fuck off. Brave, you can make a swing the sacred tomahawk. Fucking around with us with that black constant. Fake bricks and slave ships, that's the reference. If we African, you gon' need more evidence. I'm American, Aboriginal, indigenous, Chibokindi is latest. That shit is rhetoric, stay woke. Aboriginal, get out. Your civil rights acts, all you can eat, big out. The Stockholm syndrome, mix kids out. Phoenix Moon got the antidote, get that shit out. Meanwhile, rapping about my birthright, fuck a freestyle. Teach each man, each woman, each child. Black faces really Indians indeed now. Man, they indeed now. Holly Dog, Title 18, G goes. Pilgrims get big gold, but Phoenix and Beast Mode. Bring up my big bows out of the sleep mode. We ain't black, colors Africans or Negroes. I got one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas for society. Keep killing them, telling it. I have one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas for society. Keep killing them, telling it. Motherfucker.
Who they calling nigga? Osio, Halito, Sego, Chimachukma. What's up, beautiful ones? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have kept you without some strong drop to step to. But let me just let y'all know I'm out to level out a few things. It's a lot of shit going on in Indian country, the real side of shit, not the scandalous YouTube streets. I'm talking about the inside scoop that affects us all. Let's pull up. I got to drop some of this shit because I've been holding on to this for a couple of weeks now. I don't know if people were privy to the Senate hearing that took place regarding the 1866 treaties a couple of weeks ago on July 27th. But there's been a lot since then. I got some drop from Cousin Ish, and we have a Muskogee response. The Muskogee Creek Nation has made a response to those Senate hearings, and we are going to listen to them today. I will read them out. Hold on one second. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out who Africanized these freedmen. Where did all these FBA and all of these security where did they all just come from? And how do they all assume that they are freedmen? And then we're going to talk about what is a freedman. We also are going to talk about some of this rope-a-dope shit that's absolutely happening in real time right in front of everybody's face, right? And while people were caught up in the gossip and all the other things going on in these main streets, really what's happening in the hood near you. This is what's going down in Indian country, and it's a travesty. It's some shit we gonna have to fight. There's a lot of shit we gonna have to deal with. A lot of people, they kind of moseying around. A lot of people that really don't have the best interests. You know what I'm saying? And this shouldn't be about you. This should be about the next 7 generations. And I think people need to make sure that they are clear in their stance with that. It's about the next 7 generations. Straight like that. And everything that we're building, it's for later on, when long after we dead, things that are going to be still, standing tall long after we not here anymore. So I just want to bring a couple of things to folks' attention and shit, because there's a lot of motherfuckers that's been lying. There's some scammers out, you know what I'm saying? And you know how I feel about the fucking scammers, right? I really got a problem with them. I don't have no problem calling them out, but it just seems that these motherfuckers get mad when I call their asses out. Ask a valid question, you should expect a valid answer. And when they can't give it, that means they got something to hide, right? Means they got something to hide. And if they don't have anything to hide, then there should be no problem with telling what it is, right? If it's really true. Because when I ask questions, I'm asking the questions that whenever they sit in front of whoever they think they're going to sit in front of, these are the questions that they might ask, and people need to fucking really be on point. They need to know what it is. So let's just straighten all these things out. I definitely want to, and I'm going to drop the link after, because I know people might have some questions and shit like that about some of the things that I'm about to show. Right? They definitely gonna have some questions, and I'm gonna drop the link. It's been a while, and I know people gonna want to know what it's sitting for, how does this affect them, things of that nature. And we just gonna run through some of these laws and how these motherfuckers is freedmen, but they missed quite a bit regarding them. Right? And then there's the Africanization of these so-called freedmen. Who turned them into Africans? And I have a question to pose to the 5 civilized tribes that actually have these freedmen and ain't even doing them right. And as far as I've known, all the ones that I know are actually Indian by blood, right? So my concern is, how do these freedmen still don't qualify for the tribal benefits that they're absolutely entitled to by being members of these nations, right? And nobody's really took the time to figure that out. How did the 1866 treaties actually affect the misclassified Indian? I think it's an interesting story, interesting conversation nonetheless. And we most certainly going to talk about it. Let's do it. Let me show this first slide right here that's into question. This is where I came across, right? Did a little background check. Marilyn Van, her face is familiar. She speaks on behalf of the Cherokee Freedmen Association. And we all know that the Cherokee have now added the freedmen to the benefits and whatnot. But there's one thing that they didn't do, and that is separate them from the African. And I'm really fucking confused, because the old treaties, even the treaties now, kind of disqualify the people of African descent. But here's my thing, because I'm going to raise an issue. I'm going to raise an issue. I'm going to need y'all to like the video, share the video, put this shit out there, because some of these folks going to have to answer these questions. And we're coming up on a congressional hearing that we're looking to have, right? Call it a town hall, whatever. They're going to have a conversation with us. So I'm going to suggest, and listen, we got some things going on, but it's only going to be for the people that can really like pass a background check and register to vote. Right? If you're not registered to vote, then this is probably not that it don't mean you, because it does concern you and you've made your decision. And I'm not suggesting that you change it, but if you want to effect change, you're going to have to do some things that you may not want to do. Right? But if you place your shit in the appropriate place, it really shouldn't be a problem. And you should see some results that so-called people of color are not really used to seeing. They accept this defeatism and shit like that. But when it come down to a win, motherfuckers be scared to win. And I really just don't understand that shit. So we're going to get along with this right here. How did they get Africanized, right? Hold on one second. Let me show y'all what happened back in 2004. One second to pull this up. Some interesting shit. All right. Check this shit out. Unbeknownst, people see them and sitting down with Congress, and people think that these are the real voices of the fucking freedmen. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. And for people to make a proper, have a proper understanding, then maybe they should ask some of the freedmen. I don't think they've asked the freedmen, but they got people speaking for the freedmen, but they not really representing them. And that's a fucking problem. Check this little shiny shit out these folks did back in 2004. You want to know where the African came from, so the fuck don't I. All right, here we go. Let's see. One moment. One second. Okay. And let me drop this in the chat for you guys. Let's see. Boom, here we go. Let me drop this in the chat for you. Oh my gosh, Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Here we go. Hold on one second. Let me deal with this Google Chrome bullshit. For those that are not driving, feast your eyes on that link that I just dropped in the chat. I am going to pull it up. Let me fix these permissions here. It's been that long since I actually been on YouTube and needed to even mess with this. Hold on. See how the freedmen got Africanized. Well, it should start happening a couple of years ago. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Isn't that interesting? African Indians. Have you ever heard of such things? Yeah. Me neither. But this the type of shit they talking about. This type of shit they talking about. Here we go. Here we go. Can y'all see that screen? Drop a one in the chat if it's visible now. Drop a one in the chat. Okay. African Indians of the 5 civilized tribes. Now, one of these people, this is Miss Marilyn Van, and this is Mr. Fee right here, and these two motherfuckers look related. There's some other pictures here. They absolutely look related, them folks over there. Oh, and this is Sister Sasha that hangs out with Vaughn Stidham over there, right? And y'all know her face is familiar. Her hair's a little longer now, but this picture is probably not one of the recent pictures. But yeah. These are the people getting down with the get down. You might know this sister with the brother Hassani, and they like to do the DNA genealogy, right? They ignore a lot of the fucking records and sit there and try and make sense of this bullshit DNA shit that they've been doing, right? Fighting for enforcement of 1866 treaty rights of descendants of the 5 civilized tribes. Well, who exactly is she? Right? Well, how do you get to speak for all the freedmen, all the tribes, and when they're completely separate nations? Anybody feel free to answer? Feel free. Oh, let me just show this right here. And this is their corporation document, African Indians of the 5 Civilized Tribes Foundation. This is their company number, incorporation date, October 8th, 2004. Domestic, not-for-profit corporation in the jurisdiction of Oklahoma. Agent name Marilyn Van. And of course, this is the agent address. All right. So yeah. All right. This is pretty amazing. Now I want to talk about where these Africans came from in a second. I'm going to talk about where the fuck did these Africans come from in a second. Because right now, I'm curious to know. Where did they come from? Where'd they get these African descendants? Okay, hold on one second. Pull this up. Oh, here's their member list. This is one of the documents that they would be sending out. Hold on one second. This is descendants of the Freedmen of the 5 Civilized Tribes Association. And this is the membership and official supporter application. Descendants of freedmen of the Creek, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole Indians. Officers Marilyn Van, Fannie Bates, Ruth Adair Nash, Rose M. Khaled. Okay. And they have Willard Lindsay here as well. So this is their application. Please check 1. Membership applicant must prove lineage to the 1898-1914 Dawes Freedmen rolls, right? Letter card or will be issued if applicant accepted into membership. Make sure y'all can see this. Can y'all see this document that I'm reading off of? Drop a 1 in the chat. Hit the 1, hit the 1. Okay. So let's see. Spouse of a freedman descendant. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Spouse of freedman descendant must prove spouse's lineage to the 1898-1914 Dawes rolls and provide copy of marriage certificate. Membership dues annually $40. Lifetime dues are $300. Supporters $40. Lifetime supporters $300. No documents required. Supporter letter card will be issued for all donations equal to or greater than your annual dues of members. Membership year is a fiscal year which runs from June through May. Applications of new members processed in April or May will have to wait till the next year added to their membership term. Okay. Then they have a space where you can make a contribution, may equal the amount of attached payment greater to the annual dues of members. Note, descendants of Freedmen Association, although a tax-exempt corporation, is not a 501c3 corporation. Contributions made to descendants of Freedmen Association are not tax deductible. To receive a tax deduction for a donation, your check or money order should be donated to the 501c3 corporation, Africans of the 5 Civilized Foundation. Note that funds donated to African Indians Foundation cannot be used for lobbying in partisan elections. Now, does that mean that it's not? Just because they're indicating that, but I'm pretty sure some of these donations are absolutely going to their lobbying. Does anybody disagree with that? Right? Instructions for completing the application, person applying for status as an official supporter. Please fill out, this is literally their words. I thought I was making a reading error. Official supporter, please fill out first page of application, including name, address, phone, email, plus $40 cash, check or money order. $300 if applying for status as a lifetime supporter. You do not need to provide any documents of your lineage or ancestry. Okay. You must establish to membership committee that you descend from a person who was listed as a freedman of the 5 civilized tribes on the Dawes Rolls. Documents which can establish this could be one or more of the following: letter from your ancestral tribe or the Department of Interior establishing that you are a freedman tribal member or descended from a freedman tribal member of the 5 civilized tribes. Copy of tribal membership card for the applicant, which states that you are a freedman, includes a roll number for a freedman, or which was made during a time when freedmen were being processed for tribal membership for that specific tribe. Tribal voting card may also establish your descent from a Dawes enrolled freedman. So I'm gonna stop there. So as she indicates, she generally speaks for the Cherokee, right? But she set up over an organization that Africanizes all of the 5 civilized tribes. So unbeknownst to them, whatever their grievances are, they think that these people are there to help them fix it. So the persuasion of Africanization comes from this specific so-called fix right here. And this is some bullshit, because prove these folks were African, right? This is bullshit. This is absolutely bullshit. Thank you, G Major. The PayPal is Feathers Up, at Feathers Up on PayPal. And I have Zelle too. So definitely, if you have my email, moon.phoenix@aol.com. Thank you very much. Any contribution is well appreciated, beloved. Yeah, so this is what they've been doing. 2004, they've been putting this shit in these people's head, right? Yes, they have. Yes, they have. So that's where they're getting it from. Okay, hold on, we got a little more now. Got a little more. Give me 1 second. But this is the shit. And it's been harmful. It's definitely been harmful. Definitely caused a lot of goddamn confusion. Let's say that. I'm going to drop this there just in case y'all want to look at it at your leisure and whatnot. Hold on. Let me drop you that PDF link. Let's see. And it may not allow me to do so. I don't think it's going to let me put this PDF link. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it. It's not going to let me do it. However, what I am going to do is go to this other page here. Let's see. And let's get this up right here. Yeah, these folks been wild, and there's been a lot of shit going on. Oh, I gotta address another scammer too. Scammer alert, scammer alert. I know he's mad. He big mad right now. I asked a simple question. I see them using Ani and Weir. Y'all know I got a problem, right? Because these same niggas that was Aboriginals last year, 2 years ago, They said fuck genealogy. They said quite a bit of things egregious against the Indian and shit, and nothing happened to them. They tried to minimize my cousin and I's work, called us men, all sorts of things when we brought up the truth about these motherfucking scammers. And a lot of these niggas protected these folks. And I never gave a fuck then, and I certainly don't give a fuck now. I'm gonna call them out. Meanwhile, these same motherfuckers that was sitting with the scammers had the nerve to try and call us fucking scammers. And you know what I say to that? They can all eat a giant phallus. That's what they like any goddamn way. That's exactly what they like. Phallus. One moment here. Let me pull this other thing out because this is fucking important. This is important shit. The real killers behind some of this shit going down in Indian country. I don't know where these aboriginals come from with the shit they be talking about. But man, let's get everything all in perspective. Okay, here we go. Let's read this little. This is one of the other pages that they got going on. Let's see. All right, here we go. Dear President Van, now this is also from the Africanindians.org site. And they had a little comment regarding the hearing that took place on July 27th, 2022. And shout out to Shan of Velvet Door, Latasha, and Cousin Kenny, representing Urban Indian Heritage Society. They went down there. They were actually there in Washington, D.C. The Cash App, thank you, cousin, is No Grandma Killers. $ No Grandma Killers. And there was a hearing there. And I think a lot of people that tried to leak the information on what it was that we was dealing with, they told people that they wanted to keep the treaty the same. So I'm pretty sure a barrage of emails went to these people that didn't really have anything to do with what's pertinent to the actual Indian, right? Because what's pertinent is keeping that fucking 1866 treaties the same. They've been altered several times during the Obama administration, and certainly they've been altered now, recently, okay? And those alterations include Africanizing the freedmen, right? And then exactly what is a freedman? Because most of the freedmen that I know, that I've come across, they're by blood Indians, right? By blood Indians, and they were free when they moved into Indian territory during the Trail of Tears, but somehow around the 1880s and shit, they became some type of freedmen. And we're gonna go to the definition of what freedmen are. Because what slavery did they have in Indian territory? We're gonna have to talk about that. And where, most importantly, did they get these Africans from? I'm really gonna tag the Department of Interior and a couple of other people because they got some explaining to do. Why they got some explaining to do? Because where did these Africans come from? I'm going to get to that. I'm going to walk slow with that. Link to IndianSenate.gov. Dear President Van, the United States Senate Committee on Indian Affairs has scheduled an oversight hearing to receive testimony titled Oversight Hearing on Select Provisions of the 1866 Reconstruction Treaties between the United States and Oklahoma Tribes. The hearing will be held on Wednesday, July 27th, 2022, beginning at 2:30 in room 628 of the Durkin Senate Office Building. I'm writing to invite you to provide testimony to the committee at that time, either in person or virtually via video conference. Please advise the committee hearing clerk DeLorean Sheridan by July 25th, 2022 on how you would like to present your testimony. In the interest of time and allow committee members an opportunity to pose questions to you and other witnesses, the committee asks that you summarize your written testimony and limit your oral remarks to no more than 5 minutes. Your written statement may be of any length you deem appropriate and will appear in its entirety in the hearing record. The committee would appreciate if you would promptly contact DeLorean Sheridan, and of course it has their number and the email address to confirm the attendance. But this doesn't say, let's see. According to committee rules, witness testimony must be submitted by way of electronic mail at least 2 business days in advance of the hearing. Please send an electronic version of your testimony. So now this is good tea. So now you know 2 days before, any witness testimony has to be submitted electronically. 2 days before they actually sit down and do the damn thing, right? So just FYI. Van, Sampson, and Khaled going to DC for hearing. Now, you know Khaled ain't no Indian name. You know that for sure. You know damn well that ain't no Indian name. That ain't none of the names in antiquity here. But okay. Marilyn Van is organizing this fundraiser to benefit African Indians of the 5 civilized tribes. Doesn't it make your stomach cringe every time they lie? Every time I got to read this word, I get the hanks in my stomach. Assistance needed. Please assist Marilyn Van, Rose Khaled, and Lita Osborne Sampson in making this educational trip. Mrs. Van, Sampson, and Khaled are board members of African Indians of the 5 Tribes Foundation and or descendants of Freedmen Association. Ain't this some shit? Ain't this some shit? Senate hearings after 20 years. We have asked for Senate hearings for almost 20 years, and the time has now come. Many senators know nothing of the freedmen. Any size donation will help us make this trip. Thanks in advance for your contribution to this cause. That means so much to me. And of course, there's the link to their donate. They have an extensive GoFundMe list. There's actually several different GoFundMe that they have that are attached to these specific tribes as well. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. Perhaps I can show that, the many different GoFundMes that they have. Thank you so much, Selena. Thank you, cousin. Yeah, the many different donations that they have. Hold on one second. Let me show you. There's a long list with several different GoFundMes attached to the same tribe. I'm sure they're for different reasons and maybe even split between one corporate entity to another. So let me just get that for you. Just for your own FYI, so you can watch some of this shit. I know for sure that there's a lot of people tripping and shit like that, like Umar Johnson and all of that. And that is important, that poor man. But this right here, this shit affects a lot of us. Let me just make sure people are aware of that. Okay, here we go. So let me open this. And yo, one thing I love about these Apple products, my favorite thing is this AirDrop. Oh, this shit is smooth. I love it. I don't know who thought of that. They must have smoked some good reefer and said, I wonder if we can just AirDrop. Who thought of that? I don't know, but shout out to them. Okay, here they go. Here it is. Here it is. African Indians of the 5 Civilized Tribes Foundation. 11,251 raised for this charity. Okay, there's quite a bit of them. Van and Khaled trip. This is for their trip to DC that they just did. $605 from donors. I'm not mad at that, right? Because they should do their crowdfunding, especially to fund these endeavors. But what I'm tripping off of, who they sent to actually represent them, right? So let's see. Federal Court Legal Fund. They raised $5,155 there. Van Sampson Freedmen, they raised $2,411 there. These 2 motherfuckers look related like hell. They look related. I don't care if she's copper and he's mayonnaise. Yeah, they shit look kind of weird to me. They look like cousins and shit. $2,105. Let me see. Yeah, so these are the charities or whatever, the GoFundMes that surround them. I'll drop that down if you guys want to watch, monitor, whatever. Let me see something here. Let me drop this here. Just in case y'all want to pay attention and troll and shit like that, whatever. I'm sure, I bet y'all didn't know that Jesse Jackson, Marilyn Van, all these motherfuckers are card-carrying Cherokee members by blood. Did you know that? Did you know that? Right? Oh, hostile one. I got to post that one. I saw that. From African American to African Indian, who the real colonizers? Ain't it hard to tell? Isn't it hard to goddamn tell? This shit crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, so hold on. Got a little something. Now, let's get the let's get the legal definition for freedmen. The legal definition for freedmen. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Freedman is a person who is set free from a state of bondage or slavery. What's the difference between bondage and slavery? In the US, a former slave is referred to as a freedman with a D. These freedmen have been released from slavery either by emancipation or manumission. Manumission is the granting of freedom by the owner of the slave, and emancipation is granting freedom as part of a larger group. 13th Amendment to the US Constitution resulted in freedom for 4 million slaves. 14th Amendment gave full citizenship to the freedmen in the United States. Okay. Now, at this same time, you have these 1866 treaties. Okay. So at that time of the 1866 treaties, the people that they are calling freedmen should have and would have, had they been doing the right thing and following the law, had already been granted their citizenship, because the wording has been changed that I doubt people even remember what the original treaties even spoke about. And the one that stood out the most was the Choctaw Treaty. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in my catalog of shows here that I've done on YouTube, I had the original. I'm pretty sure it's in one of my Google Drives, G Drives as well. I had the original documentation from the Choctaw Nation page indicating those interesting caveats in Article 3 and Article 4. And if there was any confusion anywhere else when it came down to the Choctaw and Chickasaw Treaty, you knew they said the African had no interest in the land and they had to leave within 90 days or nobody gets any money. And as far as the Negro is concerned, the Negro is to be called an Indian and never to be questioned again. All that shit's been removed. All of that shit has been removed. So when the Cherokee Nation decided to include their freedmen and give them the entitlement of benefits and things like that, yes, it was monumentally huge. Yes, it was. It was a big thing, but it didn't fix the flaws. And Ms. Van and the colleagues never took the African out. This is where your African gets inserted. What's an African Indian? And when did these tribes acquire any Africans? Okay, no African slaves after 1808. And that is still prior to removal, which put them in the United States at that time, right? And then even when they did remove themselves, where would they acquire these African slaves? So if they took the slaves that they had in the East with them, we know damn well they weren't African, east of the Mississippi, because even the Confederate Army When they signed the treaties with the Confederacy, they maintained the fact that, listen, we're going to keep it the same. We don't want no African slaves neither. But the people that are still enslaved in our Confederate states, what they would have to do, they have to finish their indentures. And if their asses run away, they're supposed to be brought back. Other than that, it looks like a lot of people down south was getting money, these so-called slaves. How did they have land? And how do you think that they was diddy bopping through the country with money in their pocket that had their faces on it? How do you think that made them so-called slaves feel when they go to buy something, purchase something, and that money got they goddamn faces on it? Not the George Washingtons or the Abe Lincolns we see today, but their faces on it. What do you think that felt like? What do you think that felt like with the Confederate money? Please, let's keep in mind that the Confederacy and the Confederates and the United States are two separate countries. Okay, so for those 4 years from 1961 to 1965, guess what those Confederate states were? A whole new country. Those Confederate states were not only a new country, but what happened when they came back into the United States? Now they are brand spanking new all over again. See how that goes? Like they stopped the time of from 1776 up until 1861. Then from 1861 to 1864, they seceded from the Union, removed themselves, became a separate nation. And the only reason why they needed the Indian tribes as well, because the Indian tribes that had treaties were what? Recognized as nations by the United States, by all the other people that they signed treaties with. Same way the Moors try to indicate how that treaty of peace and friendship is supposed to extend to everybody, when it's really just the acknowledgement of the United States as a business, as a commercial entity. And that's what the United States and all of the people, Britain, Spain, France, when they signed treaties with our folks, that is what they were doing, acknowledging them as nations. Yeah. I don't know if people look at it like that. I don't know if they look at it like that. But that's really what it is. Each time this shit happened, each time these tribes signed treaties, they are now being recognized as Indian tribes, as other nations, countries, whatever you want to call them, however you need to settle it in your mind so that you get a grip and grasp the understanding. You know? Thank you, Jimmy. However it is that you grasp the understanding, please know that each time this shit was going down, this is someone recognizing your people and acknowledging them as a nation. Right? They got acknowledged as a nation each time they sign these treaties. They're getting recognized by other countries. They're getting recognized by other countries. I don't think that people really paid it that much mind. So for the people that were once completely acknowledged, they also ended up getting disenfranchised and a whole bunch of other shit went down, right? A whole bunch of other shit went down. Thank you, Indigenous One, right? So when were these freedmen emancipated? That would have to happen at large. Well, let's go with what does the United States say? And how come none of these African freedmen indicated the omission of the title, U.S. Title 8, Section 61 through 65 regarding freedmen? They completely omitted it, and they did this in 1946. Let's go see what it used to say that it doesn't say anymore. And this is a perfect example. So when I think of freedmen, again, as the legal definition, these freedmen have been released from slavery either by emancipation or manumission. Manumission is granting of freedom by the owner or of the slave, so-called slave, and emancipation is granting freedom as a part of a larger group. So that means that all of these so-called freedmen of the 5 civilized tribes would have been emancipated, right? Because they are part of a larger group. When the hell did this shit happen? When did this happen? When did this happen? This is a problem. This is a fucking problem that they think they're African. But now, here's going to be where the solution comes in. Because they couldn't have any African slaves, any entry of African slaves, then that means these motherfuckers who were the Indian, so-called African Indians, they broke the law. They should be considered contraband. Because where did you come from? How old from 1808? Let's just say they got the last slave. If that law was passed, let's say it goes in effect March 1st of 1808, no more African slaves. So if February 28th of 1808 would have been the last day that they had a slave, and let's say that would have been the youngest person, a newborn child of African descent. Now here in 1866, of course, that child would now be grown, being an elder and things of that nature. Now that would make sense of their descendants as well. But who did they marry into? If they didn't marry into another African, then where's the African descent would gradually decline. And if they at that point were a part of these tribes, these like they were supposed to be as per these 1866 treaties, then who were they labeling African? That makes them contraband. If they're saying that in 1845, 1860, 1870, that they had African slaves, well, then these fucking 5 civilized tribes need to be brought up on motherfucking charges. Because they just broke all of the fucking laws between both countries, the North and the South. Nobody ever raised any of this fucking question, but you know, I like shaking shit up. I don't care. I don't care. So let's go to U.S. code that has been omitted, and let's see what they're saying. Why was it important that they remove this shit? Okay, chapter 4, Freedmen. Now this is, again, if you go to U.S. code, title 8, section 61 through 65 have been removed. This is what they actually removed from those sections. And it's very vague in here, but it definitely tells you that this has something to do with some soldiers. Again, these would be your people that did what? Probably contributed to the Confederacy. And they may have been locked up. So that would also be your manumitted people, or excuse me, emancipated people by a large group, meaning the people that attached themselves to Jefferson Davis and that treaty that he signed, right, with them. Laws continued in force. 61, 62, laws enforced by Secretary of War. We no longer have that department. Claims for pay or bounty payment. So that means they was kind of broke and probably had to give up some land to these freedmen, basically by the things that they may have lost as of joining with Jefferson Davis, for whatever reasons they did. 64, retained bounty and bounty fund application for payments. 65, who deemed wife and children of colored soldiers. Isn't this fucking interesting? And what soldiers would they be talking about? They could only be talking about the soldiers in the Confederacy, right? They could only be talking about the soldiers in the Confederacy. Because the Union soldiers were on the side of the United States, which the Confederate States of America engaged in warfare with. 61, laws continued in force. All laws and parts of laws pertaining to the collection and payment of bounty, prize money, and other legitimate claims of colored soldiers. What prize money were they offering? What bounty? All the laws and parts of laws pertaining to the collection and payment of bounty, prize money, and other legitimate claims of colored soldiers, sailors, and Marines or their heirs shall remain in force until otherwise ordered by Congress, right? Derivation as of June 10th, 1872, chapter 415, section 1. Claims for pay, cross references, claims for pay or bounty for colored soldiers, sailors, or Marines and payment thereof. See section 63 of this title. Section 62 says, laws enforced by Secretary of War. The Secretary of War is authorized to carry into effect all laws and parts of laws referred to in section 61 of this title. And to this end, he may employ such clerical force as he deems necessary. And that is the derivation of that. And that also Act of June 10th, 1872. And you can find that in chapter 415. I'm going to drop this in the chat too. Save this, put this in your stash, right? Put this in your stash. Because when they go talking that Freedmen mumbo jumbo shit, these are the laws that are directly associated with them. Let them kill that noise. Kill that noise. Okay. 63. All sums due upon certificates issued or which may be issued in settlement of claims for pay. So there's some shit they didn't want to pay our folks, so they made them freedmen, and then 30, 40, 50, 60 years later try to Africanize them. Okay, I get it. Bounty, prize money, or other monies due to colored soldiers, sailors, or Marines, or their legal representatives shall be paid in the same manner as similar claims are paid to white soldiers. Who the freedmen again? Where did they see that? I didn't see the word African not one goddamn time. In the same manner as similar claims are paid to white soldiers, sailors, and Marines, but no such certificate shall be issued until it shall have been ascertained that the application is made by the original claimant, or if he be dead, by his true living legal representative, nor until the identity of such claimant or representative, as the case may be, shall have been duly established. If an agent or attorney be employed, the allowance for his services shall not in any case exceed that contemplated in the scale of fees and allowances fixed by joint resolution, July 26, 1866, number 86, section 2, 14, statute 368. And no power of attorney, transfer, or assignment of the amount of such claims or any part thereof shall in any case be recognized. March 3rd, 1879, that's chapter 182, section 2, statute 20, okay? And this is all before the Dawes. Interesting. There's one statute here that is approximately around the time, and this goes in 1898, but I'm pretty sure they are piggybacking off of what actually was supposed to transpire from 1866 to now. 64, retained bounty fund application for payments. Sound like the freedmen were supposed to get paid back then. Why are they holding out on these people now? What they hiding? The unexpected balance of the retained fund in the custody of the Freedmen's Bureau prior to July 1st, 1902 is covered into the Treasury as miscellaneous receipts. It's fucking miscellaneous receipts, huh? Upon application by parties entitled to any portion of the money so covered in, the Secretary of the Treasury is authorized and directed to pay the amount found due in the same manner and from the same appropriations as claims for bounty to volunteer soldiers are now paid. 65, and this is the final chapter that was omitted. Who deemed wife and children of colored soldiers? In determining who is the wife or child of any colored soldier within the meaning of this section, Section 61 and 62 of this title, evidence that the soldier and the woman claimed to be his wife, cohabitated or associated as husband and wife, and so continued to cohabit or associate at the time of enlistment, or evidence that a form of marriage, whether such marriage was authorized or recognized by law or not, was entered into by them, and that the parties thereafter lived together as husband and wife, and so continued to live together at the time of enlistment, shall be deemed sufficient proof of marriage, and the children born of any such marriage shall be taken to be children embraced within the provisions of said sections, whether such marriage was or was not dissolved at the time of enlistment. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to go a little bit into the alien ownership of land, right? Because you might want to take a look at that. Because I'm pretty sure, I bet $1 to a donut, alien ownership of land goes into some things that were notified and noted in the treaty that says Africans don't have any interest in the land. And then at that time, being that they had the new Immigration Act of 1870, and then you had the 13th Amendment and then the 14th Amendment, which gives them citizenship. At this point in time, these would still be aliens because they have no interest in the land that they're speaking about. So some bullshit happened. Some bullshit is happening. And why are they trying to Africanize the freedmen? Where did they get the Africans from? Which one of those 5 civilized tribes want to make a big exclamation that they were still peddling, exchanging, and trading African slaves after the Civil War? When prior to the war, 1812, it was already established in the United States and all of the states that joined in severalty with the United States that there was a prohibited act for smuggling, dealing with African slave trade. So they're going to have to work with this one. So now maybe some of these freedmen that we haven't heard from that do not claim to be African, the freedmen that have in the 1880s and prior to the Dawes Rolls, the freedmen that have by blood, they have by blood. And they know that they are by blood. They are now being Africanized. And I know damn well they're not happy with that. But where is their voice? Where's their voice? Marilyn Van can't be speaking for them. She's speaking for the people that feel that they are African Indians, descendants of the 5 civilized tribes. And I got a good mind. That perhaps Urban Indian Heritage Society and some of our other organizations may be able to speak for the Indian freedmen. Maybe we should speak for them. We know they're out there, and I can't wait to get to Oklahoma. I can't fucking wait. Be out there in October. I'm speaking with the American Folklore Society, but I got some investigating to do, some visits, and I definitely got to hug on a couple of the folks that's been helping us every step of the way with this information, right? Definitely got to do. But I'm going to go to the archives. I got some things to do. I got some tourist things to do when I get there also. I'm going for work, but I'm going for work, if you know what I'm saying. So I think that there's some other things that need to be talked about too. And I might have to spin this at the end because there's some scammers out here too. There's scammers, they don't really go away. These folks are pretty fucking interesting too. This guy that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. I'll save him for the end. I know he hopping mad right now, but you start stealing the honor you wear, I'm going to come out and mollywop your ass because that's literally my fucking family. And I ain't letting you motherfuckers drag them to Africa, right? All these niggas on the internet, all the aboriginals wanted to fight Phoenix Moon because I talk shit about fucking scammers. I talk shit about nigga that stole from me. And there was actual motherfuckers that act like I had no right to say a motherfucking thing about a man that stole from me and had information that he shouldn't have motherfucking had. Somebody that engages in criminal fucking activity and can blow our shot at being taken seriously. I went to war with these motherfuckers. And guess what? Instead of an army behind me, there was an army of motherfuckers against me. And I ain't forget none of you motherfuckers that told me I shouldn't be talking about HEMOC. I ain't forget. I ain't forget about none of you motherfuckers that told me to stop talking about the scammers. Well, I did my genealogy, and I did a lot of genealogy for a lot of these other motherfuckers. I did what I came to do. I brought the law and everything. Nobody's been injured off of any motherfucking thing that came out my mouth. Nobody's been injured off of any fucking thing that we came to do. But I noticed the people that fought me are responsible for the motherfuckers that got injured by the bitches and motherfuckers that they promoted. And where are they now? Are they ready to go sit in front of Congress? No, they're still playing colorism games. Them ain't the real ones. The real aboriginals is black. Yeah. People did a lot of fuckery. And they did a lot of fuckery. And we're just going to leave them right where they are. They were very content where they are, and they didn't want to, they didn't want to roll with Rush, and that was quite all right. But now that shit is happening, what they not going to do is make it appear as if they've been fucking friendly to the misclassified Indians the whole time. We're not going to do that. And then if they think they're going to come around without a fucking apology, without some real shit, and saying what they're fucking sorry for, Moon don't want to hear it. Because as it stands now, we are sitting with Congress. We are talking to the motherfuckers that make decisions. And guess what? Them other people that said it wouldn't happen, I know they want to know, how can they be down? How can they be down? Why they want to know now is beyond me. But if they did have a change of heart, they need to make that clear. And for all of the public dragging and bullshit they talked about me and my family, I want those apologies not to be a fucking whisper. Don't whisper the apologies. Scream it as loud as it was when you called me a man, you called me this, an agent, this, that, and the third. You make sure you fucking do it just like the way you did it. Right? Let's just keep it real. First of all, it was in bad taste and poor etiquette. So when these motherfuckers accuse niggas of being divisive and all this other sucker shit, they wanted to go run around with scammers. Cool. That was your motherfucking prerogative. But now that you want to come around with the motherfuckers that got a good name in the world, even though they tried to sully it, because I know these same niggas that was calling me scammer and all this other motherfucker shit, they ain't getting invited nowhere. Don't nobody want to know what it is that they talking about except other dumb motherfuckers that are looking to them to lead them nowhere. Fast trip. And after 4 or 5 years of them talking all this shit, guess where these niggas is at? Nowhere. The same motherfuckers that told them to stop the genealogy. It's not really that important. Just be mad at white people and keep screaming, we want our land back, and keep calling all of these Native Americans fake. That's what they wanted. They wanted men to fucking denounce their wives that they married, right? And let me tell you, when you have the Hispanic women that the men married, to me, they still Indian. If they from any of the Americas, motherfucker, they still Indian. They from the Americas, and they got admixtures just like a lot of us got fucking admixtures too. Yeah, these people played a lot of fucking games. Now we got a lot of these congressional people in checkmate. They're very frightened at what the power of the shit could really turn up. They definitely didn't expect nobody to go down there and look them in the motherfucking eye. Ooh. They didn't expect that. Now we get to have fucking fun. Playtime been over. It been over. And I left these YouTube streets alone for a little while, because I couldn't just respond to all the haters. I had work to do, and motherfuckers was a distraction. And I realized they was here to distract the whole time. These same motherfuckers that been around me, and maybe even longer than me, these bitches ain't have no goddamn solutions. And now we got a good team of people that are fucking brilliant. I absolutely love the people that I'm working with. I love their minds. They're fucking brilliant. They're thinking futuristic. They about their motherfucking family. They respect the culture, respect the heritage. And man, they not going back down. They ain't going back down. I love it. And let me just get them their flowers and get them their shout outs. Yo, y'all is fucking the truth to me. Y'all is the truth to me. Y'all, I can assure and guarantee my loyalty to what it is that we set out to do, and we're going to finish it. Sans all of the distractions, sans all the motherfucking side squabbling and shit these niggas is doing when they ain't bust a goddamn grape in this fruit fight. Yeah. Fighting a good motherfucking fight. And the fact that, these people, they think they were so much smarter than us. But now there's going to have to answer to, how the fuck did they Africanize these freedmen? They're going to have to answer to that. And that's all I need to know right now. We can get back to this other shit a little later. But that's a question that none of these folks are asking them. And that's a question that if I was the advocate for the freedmen by blood, not the ones that had just jumped on Marilyn Van's bandwagon and Africanized themselves, even though most of them, the majority of them, probably never heard about them having no goddamn African in their family. But because they see them sitting with Congress and, you know, running around with a few people that may be of importance and shit, I think that that sometimes is enough to make people think, hey, let me go and sign up for this membership, not knowing that they just Africanized the fuck out of folks. I don't know if that's what people signed up for. I don't think that's what they signed up for, but that is in fact what it is that they got. Now I'm gonna drop the link, and anybody has any questions, definitely comments, come pull up. Come pull up. Right? You most definitely are welcome to come up. I just had to drop that shit down there because where they get these African freedmen from? And what people descend from anybody that has a card on the doors rolls? Where did you find your African from that you support this shit? Yeah. Hey, Miss Ravioli. I would go to the Library of Congress. Library of Congress will have all of those maps, several different versions, and also, to our Gibson Evans families, Epps families, I found a map that I believe is our grandfather's. Cousin Tasha, I'm gonna have to send it to you. I believe Morris Evans is our Morris Evans, descendant of Jane Gibson, that actually made this fucking map. Blew my mind. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. Very, very interesting that one of our grandfathers would have been a cartographer or a topographer, right? Very interesting. But definitely, Library of Congress, you're going to find a series of different maps, Miss Ravioli, plenty of them. Yeah, and it had Fishing Creek on this particular map. I believe it was the 1750s or 60s. I don't know why I was looking at the map, and then what struck me was actually looking at who made the map, and I kept saying, there's two names that I know belong to our family, and I don't know if it's coincidence. Perhaps y'all be able to help me dissect that, but I think this is our grandpappy that created this map. Right? You can see the Jones land, and this is right over the Sapani-Occaneechi border. You can see a bunch of detail right there where Fort Christiana was. Some interesting shit there. So it would make sense that if it actually is our grandfathers and granduncles that actually made this map. Yeah, this is absolutely interesting. Absolutely interesting. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm sorry, I did have a phone call that I had to take. So yeah, what up though? Who's that? Hey, Chemo, what's happening, beloved? How y'all beautiful ones doing? I hope y'all staying healthy. Y'all, I hope y'all, staying sucker free and all of that. What's up, Yagua? I hope y'all staying sucker free. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I ain't gonna stay too long. I got a couple of other things to do. But I definitely got to make sure I put y'all on to these new little scammy. And maybe they're not new, but the motherfucker got about 90,000 folks. We had a little exchange yesterday. I just asked some basic questions, and the motherfucker didn't want to answer. So let me pull these little scam burglars and fries up, Scammy Davis Jr. ass niggas up. Hold on one second. That's what I do. I talk about the people that could injure the Indian in the long run. Yes, I do. And I know, like I said, I know it pissed some people off, but it also saved some people's legacies. It also saved some people's lives, right? Because there's a lot of people that end up dead, especially when motherfuckers is making money hand over fist, right? So, you know, Bill Hampton, hold on, I see what you're saying. Secured party creditor and still claim their nationality. Well, nobody is stopping anybody to claim their nationality. Anybody born here in the United States is a U.S. citizen, period, right? Let's just start with that. Anybody born here is a citizen of the United States. Now, even a national does not necessarily mean that they're a citizen of the United States. However, a national still has to pledge allegiance to the United States. Right? And let me get the US law to make sure that y'all understand that, because I don't give up my opinions on shit like that. I go directly to the source, right? I don't give my opinion. Yeah, no. I'll be kind of, I'll be scared for people when they start talking all that shit, right? Status correction. Once you find out that you are an Indian, you go and correct grandma's status, grandma and grandpa, even if they dead, right? Especially anybody coming out of Virginia during that Walter Pleck administration, they ain't got no choice but to fix that shit. Especially after you have your fucking proof. Nobody is going to tell you anything. Everybody has the right to self-identify, right? So, yeah, nationality can't be sold or purchased. Well, unless part of these these other tribes or whatever that have been complicit in all of these crimes. Let's see. Okay, let's see what the United States says. What the United States says. U.S. Code, nationals and citizens of the United States, just so you're clear. The following shall be nationals and citizens of the United States at birth. So I'm going to start by saying I'm born in the United States. I am also a national and also a citizen of the United States by default. However, there can be people that are nationals and not U.S. citizens. However, they still have to pledge allegiance to the United States, which means they got to drop all their other flags and make sure that it's clear that the United States is their people's, and that's the end of that. Okay? So I'm going to drop this here for your definition of that so you have a clear understanding on the difference between the national and a lot of that. I'm going to tell you now, you hear that is more science stuff, and none of that shit going to get you nowhere. That ain't got nothing to do with the Indian. I'm going to tell you now, if you want to be a Moor, have at it. But if you're going to be a Moor, you should probably really have Moorish ancestry also. That would be helpful. Whatever it is that you say you are, be able to prove it. And unfortunately, for people like the Hebrew Israelites, you're not going to be able to prove that you're actually fucking descendant of Jacob and shit, right? You're not going to be able to do that. So keep it realistic. Keep it to the races that are actually on the planet, right? That are actually on the planet. Okay, we're not going to do this, Janelle. I'm sorry. I don't know where you came from, honey. America is not Egypt. It is not. But I know you might be new into the information, and it seems feasible and practical to assume that in comparison. But, that's not what it is, and definitely nothing that you should be promoting just to satisfy how people feel romantic about the Bible and those stories, right? Fascinating fucking stories, absolutely fascinating. And my granddaddy wrote the book, right? My granddaddy stitched the book together and shit. And I know for a fact that he got a lot of those stories from Indian tribes. This is why, and the whole world actually kind of metastasized over the dogma and shit like that, which is it's a little weird, but that has nothing to do with what we're speaking about here. And no, that's not it, sis. That ain't it. That ain't it. It sounds good, but no, that's not it. Okay, so the next part of the question, secure party creditor. What businesses do you have? If you have specific businesses, corporate structures and things, you may benefit from being a secure party creditor, but that has nothing to do with you being Indian. That has nothing to do with your bloodline. Absolutely nothing. And your bloodline should not necessarily be an object of commercial entity desires. Let me just say that. And I hope I've answered your question. Again, look at what you're being a secure party creditor for. For what reasons? Is it commercial activity? That might make sense, right? But whatever it is, it should be things that you and your family put together. You can't really think about joining any of these other strangers. Really, it's about what you are building for your family. And I think people kind of don't really get that. They want to go join up with other people that say that they have a tribe or this, that, and the third, and they can't really get to the bottom of their identity. People give up, they get frustrated and shit, and they start looking for other things. This is not a fucking cult. This is not a club. This is why we know when we talked about genealogy this whole time, we knew that we were going to find people that were relatives, right? And that's the tribe. They're extended members. That's how you piece your history together with the clans, right? This is how we've been able to identify certain groups of people that were misclassified, right? But your nationality, nobody is stopping you from claiming it. People can claim they could be born a male and claim to be a woman. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody is stopping anyone from claiming what it is that they need to claim. However, if you want to push the envelope and have something made available or something that your folks that you are claiming you are under are entitled to, that is still something that you'll need a political body from, of the people that have the exact same grievances, gripes, concerns, desires, wants, and needs, right? But UCCs and things of that nature have nothing to do with the Indian, and it should not even be brought into Indian bill conversations. That's strictly commercial activity. And I think people are using that as a way of thinking that they're going to avoid taxes. They're going to avoid all sorts of things and shit. I heard somebody yesterday, again, and this ain't the first time I heard him, but he talking about he an Aboriginal, he a Toxinist, sprung from the soil, never said which soil or which state, city, town, country that soil was in. And I also heard him say that he's Indians not taxed. Well, if you're a Toxinist or you're Aboriginal, then you're not an Indian. And what part of the Indians not taxed, what part of the Indians not taxed are you attached to? Because that would be the pre-colonial people. And I know for a fact we descend from those pre-colonial folks that would not be taxed. So how do you become Indians not taxed if you don't like the word Indian? See, what happens is with this shit, it makes you not like your country. Now people think that they can use some of these things to fucking defeat the government. When it's your fucking government, what do you want to beat about your own shit besides the fact that you need to beat your head up against a brick wall because you ignored the fact that you created a lot of these entities that have now been taken over by people that they shouldn't be running, that shouldn't be running it. And if the Indian ain't figured out that this is his house and he's responsible for cleaning up, then he ain't an Indian as far as I'm concerned. He's whatever, it's going to suit at the time. But if that's going to be a bitch ass excuse, I hate the government. If that's going to be your bitch ass excuse to not insert yourself in the government and take over your shit, take back your shit, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I don't know what the fuck to tell people. And some of the trauma that has been passed down and inflicted on people happened as a result of shit that they neglected, shit that the ancestors may have neglected, things that fell apart because the family wasn't on top of family business. That's how the clans fell apart. The nations fell apart because the clans fell apart. The clans fell apart because the families fell apart. Now there is no tribe. How do you put that back together? How do you put it back together? And what is niggas afraid of? I think niggas is more afraid of their family than they are Dwight. But I know they equally as afraid of Dwight as they are the family, if that makes any sense to you. But niggas is scared of their family. They scared to forgive. They scared to forget. They see the bigger picture. So yeah, you can't commit racism. You'll only have it used against you, because regardless of whatever shit is going on in a lot of these other prominent people that's engaging in commerce around the fucking globe that actually commit racism, and racism isn't a bad thing. That's just you and your family think y'all the baddest motherfuckers in commerce. But some people don't have any pride in their family. There's a whole bunch of different grievances, and shit that occurs where, the family they don't see eye to eye. Well, the real chief, the real people that should be calling themselves chief, are the peoples that can have these meeting of the minds and have these mutual agreements, right? We could settle all those other disputes later, but for right now, we need to stick together, and what reasons we need to stick together for the 7 generations ahead. That's what the real big chiefs is going to be doing, right? That's what the valid people are going to be doing, putting their families back together, good, bad, and indifferent. You don't want to forgive your mother. You don't want to forgive her. Okay, she did drugs in the 80s. You're mad. Motherfucker's 45 years old, still mad at some other trauma that may have happened. And I'm not negating that, but doesn't that mean that something snapped, something happened that injured your parents or injured the people that you're mad at? Something happened before that made that event occur that you're unhappy with. So if you're not going to be able to work through these things and sort through your trauma, this ain't the fucking place for you. You're not built for it. And trust me, honey, that's going to be okay if you're not built for it, because those of us that are, we're going to do the work. And even the people that hate our guts and hope that we die are still going to benefit from the shit that we're doing. They're still going to benefit. The same niggas that called me a motherfucking man and said I didn't really have children and all this other shit, them same niggas are going to benefit from the things that I am willing, the road that I'm willing to take to make sure they put some respect on our ancestors' names. The niggas that said they hate us and hope that we die are still going to fucking benefit on the same things that I want for my children, the same things we all want for our great-great-grands and the people that are going to be here long after we're dead. Right? So it was really no need to pay attention to those little small ass voices and shit like that. Because the bigger person has to see beyond what the surface is. I had to still decide on whether or not I was going to stay on this particular course, because I am met with fucking adversity from motherfuckers that look like us but scream about so much shit that the white man do. But mad that I got receipts to show what the black man did. Like, do people want to keep it real or what? Do they want to? Sometimes they don't want to keep it real. And that's okay too. You don't have to, because the people that do will. And the people that will make do for the motherfuckers that don't. Understand that. So for the people that are met with such disdain, and I'm going to just say for me, and I don't give a fuck if you don't like me, nigga, because everything I do is still going to be for you too, motherfucker. Even though you might deserve a kick in your motherfucking face, you're going to get the same benefits and laws and shit that my children deserve, that my grandmother and grandfather deserved, that I deserve. You hate me, but I love y'all motherfuckers. Good, bad, and indifferent. Smart, dumb, ignorant too. God looks out for fools and babies. Ain't that what grandma and them used to say? Some of these niggas is fools and a lot of these motherfuckers ain't babies. But we have to treat you like babies. Have to treat you like babies. New into this. And I'm going to tell you, niggas been recruiting, right? Because I'm going to lead up to this scammer before I get up out of here. And a lot of this occurred because you got people of color running around here before they even find their proof, spreading the good news of how did you know that we might not be Africans and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. They try to include every single person of color when that's not even the case. Right? I never see these niggas running into none of these rooms where the pale people are saying, did y'all grandmother ever tell y'all had Indian in y'all family? Y'all might be this, that, and the third. Y'all might be part of the misclassified. Niggas, y'all ain't doing that. So people have prejudice and bias as they want people to stop being prejudiced and biased. You see how you going to throw your own spiritual mix off? Because you want what you're not willing to give. You expect what you're not willing to provide. Right? People thought Elizabeth Warren, she came and said, well, my grandmother said we was Indian. That white woman ain't no Indian. Niggas that found out they are Indian did the same thing to Elizabeth Warren that they feel like some of these Pan-Africans do to them. I just think that it's hypocritical. And if you don't think that that takes away from the spiritual strength that the ancestors give us, where the truth really will set us free, then that's something that you have to deal with. But I know for a fact, if you keep calling all these motherfuckers fake, you keep calling all these people fucking names, nobody is going to recognize your name or your people. So be careful who you're calling mongoloid. Be careful whose fucking cereal you're pissing in. You might have to holler at them people for something in terms in regards to your family. You might want to rethink how you're going to start handling some of your government affairs and shit. Because if you don't handle them, guess what? There's people that will. You may not like the outcome, but you don't get to say because you didn't put your work in. You didn't put your work in. So I'm going to just run through this shit with this homie right here real quick. Let me get this little nigga up. He going on tour, y'all. And shit. And I'm going to just say, I don't know if people know what happened. That's a good point, Tasha. That's right. That's right. And I believe Warren is her married name. So you got these other folks running around here. Like I said, this brother got 90,000 maybe plus people on his fucking Instagram, but the motherfucker's selling snake charm oil. And people will make excuses. You know, there's a lot of people that probably ran to go hold nuts with this nigga or niggas like him. Let me just say that. And let me see, where is this? You know. And I'm pretty sure this nigga, it's going to be a lot of Moors and other goons and shit coming from me. You know how these men like to think they're going to beat up on Phoenix and shit like that. They like to think that. And other niggas let them think that shit was okay. Yeah, no, I don't forgive none of these motherfuckers. I don't. I'm just going to keep working. And when it's all said and done, I might come back and fuck a few people up. It depends on how I feel about it at the end. So anybody that I'm still courteous and kind to, if you did something to me, I'm going to tell you, motherfucker, don't trust me. Because the minute I catch you slipping, I'm going to fuck you up just the same way you tried to fuck me up. When I came with gifts. Came with gifts. Right? The truth. I came with the truth. And motherfuckers tried to steal that to substitute it for a lie so they could feel good about being an aboriginal. We the first people. Can't name the first motherfuckers that these pilgrims saw when they got off the boat, but saying they the first motherfuckers. Bitch, where your time stamp at to prove that your fucking bloodline was first? For real. Gotta back it up. And not just suspect that it happened that way. You need to fucking know. Where that timeline at? What it look like? 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me find this. I think I collapsed the page, but let me find it. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Phoenix, let the world know the truth. Expose the lies, study the bloodlines, the Africanized. Phoenix, let the world know the truth. Expose the lies, study the bloodlines, the Africanized. Drive before the Spanish, Dutch, and the British arrived. Saying we was from Africa, stole a birthright. That's triple, something that a dirty war would do. Claim your nationality of the land, you get screwed. So we studied your background, the treaties you wrote. Fake as history, we ain't go up here on no boat. Frontin' like you indigenous to the land, you disgust me. The tomahawk is back in our hands, it's getting ugly. You running around screaming black power, cause sales to the truth, rivers filled with a bull and high hills. Native Americans butt hurt, can't deal, cause they know damn well the trail of tears ain't real. Respect the Aboriginal, this land is ours, you know you all. You still a guest, motherfucker.
Okay. Here we go. I did drop the link down there. I'll do it again if anybody would like to come up, ask any questions, pop your shit, talk your shit, shoot your shot. So there's this guy here. I guess his name is Brother Truth. What truth is he telling? I don't know. He might have some, because even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. I know that. Even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. So let's see. Un momento. Okay. So this is your guy. I, self, Lord, and master. This nigga's a whole more, right? Handsome motherfucker too, but you could tell he don't really feel good about himself. I could tell. Not putting this shit out, he don't. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it true. All right. Let's keep it 1,000. Keep it a bando. Right? So, I, self, law, and master, estate planning, nationality, consumer law. Our mission statement, our ministry mission is to uplift, heal, and educate our community on estate affairs and beneficial commercial practices. Start your journey and enroll in our curriculum. 40 plus I am self-law and master classes. Become a member today to access courses, nationality, and identification documents. Okay, here, let's just look at the hot products and services he's selling. Religious exemption forms and shit for the scared motherfuckers that's scared to say no. For the motherfuckers that feel like the government's gonna make me take a shot. You scared bitch ass motherfucker, get on here and talk all the shit to us in the world, but you scared of a goddamn needle. You scared to say no, but you'll purchase this motherfucking order form from this bitch ass nigga. Oh, yes, you will. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Enhanced tribal ID cards. Let's zoom in on this shit. Let's zoom in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Who's zooming who? Who's zooming who? Ooh, these niggas crazy, baby. Right? Need a tribal enhanced ID to assert your tribal nationality? No worries, we got you. Remedy combo packs. Don't have time to set up your private affairs? Relax, we can do the process for you. Discharge auto loan. Are you still paying that monthly car note? Stop today and take back the title. Are you still paying that bill that you created? You're still going to break that contract and be a runaway slave? Come holla at me. Break your word. All the man got is his word and his balls, right? Niggas gonna break both of them. Trying to teach you how to motherfucking cheat. Ain't this a bitch? But there's some Negro in his mind that think this nigga is justified telling you how to commit fucking fraud so you can go to goddamn jail. Donate, donate, donate. Keyword. It's a keyword. But check out these tribal IDs. They expire in a year. So you can come back and get another one. And it says that it's tax exemption on there. But I know goddamn well you go in Stater Brothers, Publix, Food Lion, or any of them motherfuckers, and you pull that out thinking you're going to get you a tax exemption. And that's a lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. And that's what the fuck these niggas is doing. Okay, so hold on 1 second. One more thing I want to show you these bitches. When I say they going on tour, niggas going on tour. All right, here you go. $40 pre-sale tickets, the Remedy tour. You see he's using these RBG colors. Those are the roster colors and shit like that, right? Los Angeles, California, on June 25th. Philadelphia, July 2nd. Atlanta, Georgia, 7-9. Dallas, Texas, 7-16. Chicago, Illinois, 7-23. Las Vegas, 7-30. Miami, Florida, August 6th. Jacksonville, Florida was postponed. Cleveland, Ohio, August 13th. Washington, D.C., August 20th. Charlotte, North Carolina, August 27th. Brooklyn, New York, 9-3. And I'm going to make sure I'm there because I want to see what they doing in my motherfucking hood. Show Liz. And I'm going to invite some of the other wild Indians that I know would love to see what this motherfucker talking about in New York. See, this is where people got to hold down their places. Hold down their states. Hold down their cities and towns, right? Charlotte, North Carolina, August 27th. Brooklyn, New York, 9-3. Denver, Colorado, September 10th. Boston, Massachusetts, September 16th. Newark, New Jersey, 9-17. Houston, Texas, 9-24. Orlando, Florida, October 1st. Oakland, California, October 8th. Nashville, Tennessee, October 14th. New Orleans, Louisiana, October 15th. Detroit, Michigan, October 22nd. Toronto, California, 11-5, and London. They're going to take this show to the UK, mate. They're going to fucking London to spread the gospel of lies to those British people, eh? Good day, mate. London, UK, November 19. Discussing Commerce 101, nationality, tribal memberships, international IDs, more root science. Now they stealing. What science do the Moors got besides the Moorish, like a Moor science? What root science they got? This is some dangerous shit. Roots automatically go back to the Indian. You see how they like to fucking steal? But I bet that there's people that be in both places at the same time, living in two different worlds. Half Indian today, half Mer. This ain't even a Moor. This is a Mer. M-U-U-R, Mer. This is fucking crazy. This is fucking crazy. Then. So my trigger was the fact that he used Ani and Weir to do all of this shit. Why the fuck do these niggas keep bringing up Ani and Weir? Why do they keep doing that? What is so special about that particular clan of the Cherokees that they have to fucking use Ani and Weir? Why do y'all think I'm not gonna punch somebody in the face for fucking with my grandma and grandpa? Right? Because this goes back to the same niggas that don't like me now. Kumo D, how you like me now, right? These same motherfuckers that was mad when I said that African booty scratcher Kalanago wasn't no goddamn Indian. And he set up this shit called the Ani and Weir. And you know where they took them to? Africa. Why these niggas is talking about they honor you and we are, but ain't trying to call us cousin? How the fuck are you Wolf Clan, bitch, and you don't know that we're your fucking cousins? And you don't know how? Cause niggas is lying. Cause niggas is lying. Aniunwea is not the only clan of the Cherokee, but it is the most popular one that these niggas like to fucking steal, utilize, and abuse for purposes that are not for the Indians' benefit. I'm really perturbed about this shit. And when I went to go and get the bad guy, these niggas came for me like I was the bad guy. They protected Kalinago. Let's talk about it. Niggas gave this bitch a platform. Let's talk about it. I don't care if they denounce them now. They ain't never made no motherfucking apology. They tried to discredit the fucking truth. So therefore, they are fucking liars. I talked about Kalinago. I showed every receipt for every motherfucking scam the nigga did at that particular time. Because the bitch is still out there. And he's out there because these black men, aboriginals, the African Americans made him feel like he was an Indian. And then when Phoenix Moon said, wait a minute, he's desecrating our ancestry. Phoenix Moon is a man. Fuck that bitch. She's a scammer. She this, she that, she this, she that, she this, she that. I was everything but a motherfucking Indian, remember? Chief Baby Oil. Chief Baby Oil with that Nigerian accent sat on panel after panel and was friendly. And all these niggas that came for Phoenix and Tasha and Grandma and all the rest of us that was like, yo, they came for us. And they took the phallus, held the phallus in their hands. I'm going to just say that. They holding cocks. They held the phallus of Chief Baby Oil. They held it. And they hit him and they gave him hugs and told him he was good with them. They said that the bromance was stronger than the romance. Let's hold hands, bromance. Phoenix Moon got no right to say that to you. And nigga get up there, grand rising family. Sounding like a whole kunta. Yes, indeed, they did that. Oh, yes, they did that. These niggas, your friendly neighborhood motherfucking niggas. Friendly neighborhood aboriginals. Yes, they invited all the scammers to sit down. Yes, they did have Chief Baby Oil, the nigga that liked to strip for men's and shake his thing in faces. This nigga's in pictures greased up with midget men and shit. These niggas have associated grandma and grandpa with some very strange debauchery. Very strange debauchery. And you know what Moon gonna do? I ain't been on here in a while, but you know what I'm gonna do? For educational purposes for the new folks, I'm going to show all my old videos on the YouTube and Facebook where I'm calling out the scammers. And then when you go look at the scammers pages, you'll see these niggas came for me and protected the scammers. I even got one nigga that fought me for about 3 years, and then finally on some other nigga channel it said, the same nigga Hema. Well, Hema did get me before, but why Moon so fucking mad? He got my $75. Nigga, you said he didn't steal nothing from nobody. You said he didn't steal. And then a couple months later, caught him slipping on somebody else shit. Nigga like, yeah, that nigga, I remember when that nigga got me. So these niggas was willing to let us get raped in front of a crowd of wild fucking hyenas to hold another nigga nuts. That shall not go unnoticed or unscathed. I want you to know that. I just got a lot of work to do, a lot of work I'm doing. But when I get time, I'm coming back. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and I'm going to point the fingers at the fingers that it was already pointed at. And make sure motherfuckers know what time it is, what it's hitting for. Because if you want to apologize, maybe you do feel differently now. That's fine. But I need that fucking apology to be just as loud and say it in a crowded room, just like you did any chance you could to fucking try and discredit the shit that I was saying about these motherfucking scammers and these niggas that was injuring Indian country. Yes, you please, motherfuckers, say it loud. Just as loud when you was talking shit about me and Chief Wars and my cousins. Make sure those fucking apologies is just as loud and as long. They need to be 7 hours. They need to be 10 motherfucking hours. The same way they did with the slander campaign. Yes, 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 yes. Now that they put those cocks down, now that they put the phalluses down, now that they got some of those phalluses out of their mouths and they do feel like grandma's important and grandpa was special and they want to atone, they're going to have to do it the right fucking way. Now that they have created this forum where people are now thinking this is a fucking cult, when this is about fucking bloodline. These niggas desecrated everything. You know why? I told niggas, hey, these motherfuckers don't like their mama. They don't like their grandma, and they don't like their motherfucking granddaddy. It was awfully important to shut me up so that these scammers can keep scamming. Remember that? I did not forget. I did not forget. Years and years and years, these niggas did it. Call the motherfuckers agents, and these were the agents of all the chaos that has come. Hey, cousin Robbie, hey, beauty. Thank you, Haya. Agents of chaos. Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. You know, but I just know that, you know, that this motherfuckers didn't do right, and don't think you just gonna come and just be able to part of the beneficial shit that we've created. You don't need to do that. No, it's not how that shit works. It's not how that shit works. So, you know, do the right thing like Spike Lee. Keep an eye out for these innocent folks, right? Don't be overloading them with bullshit information that you done found while you fucking sneak behind the Indian back and go into these Moorish spaces and listen to Murr's root science. Murr root science. This nigga said M-U-U-R. Root science. Niggas stealing the hoodoo and giving it to the motherfucking hocus pocus niggas. The abracadabra ass motherfuckers. Ain't this some shit? But you know, it's why we can't all get along. That's why. But shout out to the family. Shout out to the people that never put the genealogy down. Look how much further along you are. Shout out to the motherfuckers that could pass a goddamn background check. Right? We're going to need them signatures. We're going to need them signatures when it comes time to come time. And that time is slowly approaching. But I want to shout out everybody that stayed the course. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real with your family, keeping it real with grandma and grandpa, keeping it real with your children, keeping it real with yourself. You ain't got to be the smartest. You ain't even got to be the best. But if you ain't hurting nobody in the interest of you trying to find yourselves, you got love for me. And you're going to get exactly where you're supposed to be, on top. You're going to be on top because your intent is clear. And nobody is sustaining any injuries as you were trying to discover what's best for you and your family. Much love, much appreciation, much respect. It may not look like much. It may not look like much to these motherfuckers that act like they got so much going on. But I'm telling you, just for people coming into this information to be safe around you, big up yourself. Big up yourself. You ain't bring no harm and no injury to nobody. Big up yourself. You cleaning up inside your family, cleaning up the spider webs, the cobwebs, and all the dust bunnies and shit out the corner trying to work with your folks. Shout out to you, baby. You gonna be the one to cross the motherfucking finish line. I respect you. Don't minimize what it is that you doing. Because the motherfuckers that's doing the most, doing too much, They don't need to brag about nothing. They should not feel good about what they doing. You take your little mustard seed and watch how bright that shit shine. That shit gonna shine brighter than the niggas with the LED lights. The niggas that can't do nothing but violate the whole cause just to be in the spotlight. Nah. Shout out to them humble ones. Shout out to them men and women that's trying to raise their family and do the right thing. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to the one that's willing to forgive some past traumas within their family in order to secure the tribe and to secure a bag and trying to get them motivated, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I'm proud of you. If nobody else said it, don't minimize yourself. You took the time to find out your truth. That shit right there speaks volumes. I don't care if you stuck at 1850. You ain't goddamn stuck. You just stationary. And when the good ancestors feel like it's fit to reveal themselves to you, honey, they gonna come to you and you gonna find shit you wasn't even knowing you were supposed to look for. It will come to you. If I may make a suggestion, please stop calling everybody Mongoloid. Please stop acting like all of the dark-skinned people, all of the African Americans are Indians. That's a lie. Please stop acting like all people that are light-skinned or pale are not Indians. I'm going to need y'all to stop. You don't want to fuck up potential relationships of people that you're going to have to come see. It would suck that you cursing out one of these natives and say some real borderline hate crime, identity extremist shit, all for the fact that you feel like you're more valid than they are. But it sounds like you kind of jealous that they're in a position that you're not in. And if you the real fucking deal, then your trump card is real tougher than what is on the surface. Don't stunt your spiritual growth. You definitely gonna need that shit for this war. Don't stunt your spiritual growth and don't run off potential allies. Because as you can see, there's a lot of skin folk that ain't acting kinfolk at all. They're out here fucking up any shot that the misclassified gets. They're fucking it up. Don't you dare blame the white. The white man wrote down all these laws so that we can fix ourselves whenever we do decide to repair ourselves. Did they do everything great? No. But they wrote these remedies down. And the way these niggas is telling it don't sound like they got remedies. It sound like they just supposed to take over some crazy shit. Because this our shit. This sense of entitlement and stuff. It ain't for you, bitch. It's for your whole family. Oh, I found 20 acres. Yeah, I found 20 acres for us. Me and my family. There's elders that are still older than me. It would go to them first and hope that they will it down to the rest of us. Wills and testaments. I'm going to just say that. I ain't going to keep y'all too long. I'm definitely glad y'all pulled up. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Stay sucker free. Stop fucking, giving these niggas dap when they was part of the destruction and not part of the bill, man. You have to take accountability and police our own communities. And that may mean having to fucking G-check one of the niggas that you call brother or sister. If it's out of love, then there's nothing wrong with that. But to just let people think that they can run around here doing what it is that they do, man, you can't. That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. Peace and love, beloved Caramel. It ain't right. Get y'all shit together. Right? Shout out to Velvet Door, Shan. Shout out Big Top Cats. Shout out First Tribe Nation. That's probably the hottest website of the motherfucking year. Hottest website of the goddamn year. Hands fucking down. Hold on. I got to drop that before Hottest fucking website. Hottest website. Valid salad. Oh, man. Let me get this shit. Let me drop this First Tribe on y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me drop this for y'all. All right. Shout out to cousin Ishmael Bey. Much love, enough respect. Let me drop this here. This website, fire. The only reason why I'm laughing is because I had he had, we always talked about Michael Jackson, and so we did his genealogy a couple of years ago, but Cousin Ish on this page actually has the clip from Joe Jackson and part of the documentary that was done on the Jacksons. And when I tell you it was excellent, excellent snippet, I posted it and it was so effective that it made the old Final Battle trolls pop out. That shit was hilarious. I seen fucking trolls I ain't seen in a long goddamn time. Oh my goodness, this fucking website is fire. Much respect to Cousin Ish. And I'm gonna just drop it and leave it there on that positive note. This website is fire in the goddamn hole. Check it out. Comb through it. Save it for your enjoyment because it's definitely some spicy meatballs in there. Very plain, very detailed, easy to fucking understand. And these are the things that you should be using for references, not these cockamamie sites and shit that these Moors and stuff be doing, right? But I definitely want to give a shout out to y'all all, man. Just stay the course, y'all beautiful people. Much love, enough fucking respect. Just make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And that's really it. Chapisa la chique, y'all.